I have a scenario of a husband, and I would like you to think and to tell me what you think that this husband should do in this scenario. The scenario is the following. He got married with his wife, he loved her, they lived well for many years. He would give everything to her, nothing lacked for her. A very good man of good behavior, good character, faithful, who took good care of his wife. And before they got married, she had a financial inferior status than his. But when he got married, he gave the best for her. They lived well for many years. But one day, his wife got bored with life. It seemed that she felt bored. She didn't want she had anymore, and she got involved with the neighbor. She fell in love with the neighbor and betrayed her husband. She brought the neighbor to her house, to their house, and told the husband, I want to stay with him here. I don't want you anymore. And even though the house belonged to the husband, this husband, being hurt, still in love with his wife, left the house and left her to live with her lover. Divorced her, gave her good money, a good amount, and like this, he left. And she stayed in the house with the neighbor, now living with her. At first, there was only love between these lovers. But not long after, he started to mistreat her. Her lover started to mistreat her, started to take everything from her. He would bring his friends to the house, throw parties, everything with her money. The friends would enjoy and leave the house all messy for her to fix it after. And she was trying to keep the lover, and he didn't want, he wanted to live that life. The money was finishing. He left her with a lot of debts. And one day, 7 years after, she decided to call the former husband. The husband who waited for 4 years for that call, for that phone call. And when he came to visit her, he was shocked. The house destroyed. The wife, just a shadow of what she used to be. Slim, tired, mistreated. But the greatest shock was not what he saw, what he had heard. When he asked his former wife, he said, "What happened?" And she told him, "None of this would have happened if you haven't not abandoned me." Then I ask you, was it the husband's fault? What do you think this husband could have done for his former wife who betrayed him? What do you think? Well, if he still loves her, he could tell her, "It's okay. Let's forget the past and let's start over. I accept you back. I will remarry you. We will rebuild our life." But does it depend on him alone? Of course not. That a new life may happen between this couple, it's necessary that she may break up with her lover. She needs to leave the lover. She needs to leave this bad attitude of hers behind, and putting the blame on the husband, who was hers, exclusively hers. She needs to remove this from her head. She needs to remove this behavior of unfaithfulness, infidelity, this ungratefulness, to ask for forgiveness for your husband and to repent and say, yes, I do. I want to do all differently. I will be the best wife from now on. If you accept me back, I'll be the best wife. Not only out of words, but in reality, to do what must be done to be a different woman. Well, this case, in reality, is the story of Gideon. The husband here is God, and the woman was Gideon, who represents people today, the human being. Just like the woman placed the lover in the place of the husband and sent the husband out of the house, the people of Israel put other gods in the place of God and sent him away. And just as the lover took advantage of the woman, took everything from her, the gods of their enemies, the enemies of Israel, brought the enemies to Israel that destroyed the land and took everything from Israel in such a way that they were in misery. And in the same way that the woman blamed the former husband, saying, if you had not abandoned me, I wouldn't be in this situation, Gideon blamed God and told God, if you had not abandoned me, if you were with us, we wouldn't be in this situation. But in Gideon's house, there was Baal's altar, an altar for Baal. If you didn't know, the word Baal means husband, means literally Israel committed spiritual adultery. Literally, Israel betrayed God, exchanged God, and they were blaming God for their misery. This is the human being's history, a history that repeats itself, that God gives all conditions, chose the person when they were miserable, changed their lives, and when they were well, they turned their back on God. They betrayed God. They chose other gods. They chose another life. How many who listen to me, who follow me, who had a good life with God? They had a good life, balanced, but being unsatisfied with this life, with this calmness, they desired more. They wanted more. As this woman who had it all, this wife who had everything from her husband, but kept on looking to the neighbor. Just like this, many were well in God's presence, but they started to look to the world, to look outside, to the unbelievers, and to desire other things, and saying, God does not give me this or that. This life of believing in God, to be in church, church home, home church, is too boring. I want adventures. I want new experiences. I want to enjoy life. And they betrayed God. They exchanged the faithful husband for the rascal lover. This is the story of many. But just as God did in the times of Gideon, on the first call that he received from the people, the first cry out that the people made, God sent a prophet and then an angel to rescue the people. And if you only call upon God, if you repent and truly desire a new life, he answers you. But he needs you to break up with your lovers, to leave behind that what separated you from God, to bring down the altars of Baal, to recognize who is to be blamed, repent, change your mind, mentality, and spirit, and then God will be able to start a new story, to turn the page and to do everything new. It's what he wants the most. It's what he desires the most. It's what he expects the most. But it does not depend only on him. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.